Hey everybody, this is Sean here bringing you another how-to video. Today we are going to be replacing the front brake lever on a Yamaha TT-R50. In this case today we've got a 2013 Yamaha TT-R50E and we are going to dive right in. You can see the front brake lever that is on the bike. Currently the end snapped off. I bought the bike this way, but it's one of the first things to go if you do have a tip over. Those levers snap pretty easily. This one's still usable. It's pretty long, but you can see it's kind of got a sharp edge on the end of it here. And instead of grinding that down or rounding it out, I am simply going to replace it with a new one. So I've got a Tusk replacement lever here. I just went with a standard kind of a direct factory looking replacement. You can get shorties or other different lever types if you'd like. The Tusk brand is pretty cheap. It's Rocky Mountain ATV's kind of generic brand, but they make decent stuff. So we're gonna throw that one on here today. What you need is a ratchet with an 8mm socket, or you can always use a standard 8mm wrench, and then a Phillips head screwdriver. So let's go ahead and get started. The only real tricky part about this replacement is that on my bike there's this rubber guard, keeps dirt, debris, maybe a little water out of the lever assembly, which is great to have, but there's really not a clean way to slide this thing out of the way right now. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to loosen it up. You can see there's the Phillips head on top, so we're gonna unscrew that, and then underneath, I apologize for the lighting here, got the garage door open, but underneath you can see there's that 8mm nut on the back end of that little Phillips head bolt. So we're gonna loosen those up, and you do have to pull this rubber guard out of the way to access the Phillips head. Once you do that, we'll slide the stock lever out, and then we're gonna squeeze this brake cable through this rubber guard, because I don't want to ruin this. I could take a razor blade and maybe cut it just to make it easier to remove, but I want it to be about as factory as it can be once we get this replacement done. So I'm going to get the bolt and nut removed, and then we can keep this process moving. Alrighty, so I've removed the Phillips head bolt with the nut on the back, and you can see I've got this thing just kind of hanging here. Next thing we're going to do is just fully pull this out, and then I won't be able to do it with one hand here, but I'm going to basically slide the lever through to expose that brake cable, and there's a little slot in there that we want to slide the end of the brake cable through, and then that will free up the lever, so we'll be able to pull the lever out from this side of this rubber cover, and then the brake cable end will pop right through that little the little end piece. And actually we don't need to do that, but I'm gonna take it off just so I can clean up in there, get all of that dirt that's in there. You can see it's kind of got some grime, some sand and dirt that's caked up over the years. So we're gonna get everything nice and clean. That'll help us to ensure that we've got a nice smooth operating front brake lever moving forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll be right back with you guys once I finish that up. Alrighty, I've got everything cleaned up. I did get the lever removed from that cover. You can see how it compares here with the Tusk replacement lever. So essentially a stock, stock equivalent here. It looks about the same. You can see how much, just barely the end of the ball we lost with the stock lever, but that's okay. We'll get this fixed up. So I'm gonna go ahead, now that I've got everything nice and clean here, I'm gonna go ahead and put that lever back through, and here's the end of that front brake cable. So this little guy is essentially going to slide into this groove on that front brake lever. So we're gonna basically get it sitting in there nice like that. And of course we're going to do that all while it's in the cover. Again, can't do it with one hand, but at least show you the process and what that's supposed to look like. Alrighty, so I've got that Tusk replacement lever put back in. Now it's just a matter of taking the lever and mounting it back on the bracket, and we're going to put the bolt in and take the lock nut on the bottom. tighten that up and we'll give it a try, see if it is in good shape now. One last little tip that I'll mention is on this bolt, I did notice there was a little bit of factory grease, so may not hurt. I've got some high temp multi-purpose multi-vehicle grease, and I'm going to take a little bit of this and basically just dab it around on that on that bolt here. Alrighty, so now we've got that bolt all greased up and we're back in good shape here with our front brake lever. If this video helped you replace yours, please like, subscribe, and I will continue to bring some how-to videos for these trail bikes. Thanks everybody.